In today's episode, get my priorities straight? No problem. You want 4x the normal pepperoni? You got it, Chief. Wish.com was sure they were right. So let's get started. Get my priorities straight? No problem. I always thought about this awful job I had, and I just knew I had to have an MC story from it. Crazy how I never thought of it until now. So in 2018, I was a freshman in college, and after being unemployed for a month, I took a job at a major sports department store where they don't wear blue. So my store manager, who we'll call Daniel, was a major phallus. He'd make crude jokes that get him reported to HQ, gossip about employees to other ones, and generally favor men over women, which I'll explain. So I worked at this store for nearly a year, and the turnover rate was abysmal. They'd hire many people who were still in high school, and expected them to devote 20 hours a week. Which of course, was not what they'd sign up for, as many wanted about 12 to 15 since they were involved in extracurricular activities. However, Daniel showed no remorse, and would offer drive people to quit by either dropping their hours to less than 5, or hiking them up to 30, knowing that they couldn't work them. Which often left us understaffed. The store was attached to a mall, so we got a lot of petty traffic that would turn into actual sales. However, due to the lack of training by Daniel, and his poor oversight in appointing people to train new hires, the customer service in the store was falling dramatically, which halted sales, which led to a decrease in merchandising. The store was a $12 million store when I started, but it fell to $8 million in a few months because HQ was losing money by stocking a poorly managed store. Daniel took out his frustration on the staff, and here is where the MC starts. Daniel was on a good reviews crusade, and often demanded us to comply with the customer, even if they were dead wrong, just so they'd leave a good review. I worked in footwear, and there is nothing like the anger that arises when tell someone that the oh-so-popular shoe that they desire is out of stock in their size. Because a customer got upset with me over their size being out of stock, I was charged with cleaning the bathrooms. I never did this, because like the overachiever I am, I learned how to work in multiple departments without getting a raise. Thus, Daniel was a wee bit appreciative and never asked me to clean it. Now, I am easily disgusted. The mere thought of rotten food or bugs or anything I deem ungodly deplorable with get me dry heaving. And I explained this to Danny Boy, but he replied with just get it done. So, me and Brent went to clean the men's bathroom, since it was a two-person job, and might I mention that Brent's disgustometer is also not tolerant. So we sprayed Febreze, took out the trash, and ran out of there for our lives, leaving the dirted mirrors, toilet paper floors, and shit-stained walls untouched. I came in the next day and was told that I did an awful job, and that I was never to clean the bathrooms again. So when Daniel asked me to do it a few weeks later, I reminded him of his instructions, and we all watched in marvel as a manager cleaned it, which is said was a big deal since it was not in his job description, but yet it wasn't in any of ours either since he had told many of us that the store had janitors in our interviews. But that's just a mini MC. See, I had grown tired of Daniel in my waiting months at the store. Many of my friends had quit or found better jobs, the hires got worse, and Daniel got much ruder. He attempted to show dominance at any chance he could, and even forced to do "we have a problem here" convo with me when I didn't rush to change into the new company uniform that was not my size, because I was helping a customer. Which then resulted in me getting chewed out because my B****BS were popping out, and my figure was showing too much as a result of the medium shirt I was forced to wear. But Daniel committed to his Paladin-esque crusade and denied us basic human rights in the spirit of good customer service. A pregnant co-worker with a doctor's note was denied a chair while working at the register, a co-worker with seething cramps was not allowed to go home though she couldn't stand, and another was barred from taking off to witness her daughter's prom send-off. But in contrast, a guy left his phone at home, and he was allowed to not only get it, but take the rest of the day off. Another called in because of a hangover and was told to rest up, and that he wouldn't receive a strike. And his favorite star boy was allowed to disappear often, and be on his phone right in front of Daniel, and he didn't even bat an eye. Even the men there obliged to the notion that they were treated far better than the female staff. And one day, Daniel chose to single me out. Not toot my own horn, but I am a hard-ass worker. And Daniel abused that by scheduling me my shifts in different departments, and speed training me, knowing I'd catch on quickly. I even had to train new employees though I wasn't a lead, because I got good reviews, and conducted the most footwear services last year. And after I demanded a raise, my $11 an hour, 35 to 45 hours a week summer paychecks were looking nice in spite of the horrible managing. But school started up again, and I informed Daniel that I needed to return to my somber 15-hour weeks that I had last semester. He said that I was lying and that he never gave me such little hours, till I hit him with a pic of the schedule that I had for March. He didn't like that chin tap, and replied with "I'll see what I can do." So next week, I see the schedule and see that not only was I scheduled from 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. for inventory, but those also were my only hours. 6F** king hours. But I think, oh, they ain't doing you dirty KV, this is obviously a mistake. So I seek out Danley the manly and tell him of his mistake, and responds with, "Daniel, that wasn't a mistake, you said you needed less hours." KV, yes, but I can't work past 10 because I have school, and I just wanted to drop to about 15 to 20 hours. Which is more than I did last semester. Daniel, well, everybody has to work inventory. KV, but Lindy and Richie don't have it because they also have school. Plus, Lindy, Richie, and Michael all have more hours than me, but they're all in high school, and just started working here. Daniel, noticing he is running out of excuses, well, they are more available than you, and we award availability. If you can free up some time, then maybe we can talk in a month. But you need to get your priorities straight. You got it, dude. So as someone who takes disrespect with a pillar of salt, I considered quitting right then and there, but my anxiety kicked in and began to worry about cash flow. So I went home on my break and complained to my family, and my mom so eloquently expressed, "Just quit the goddamn job if it got you this damn stressed. It ain't like you got a family to feed." So I took my single, no child having, empty-bellied ass up there and worked the last 2 hours of my shift. The air in the building hit different knowing I wouldn't have to spend more time in it awake than I did my own home. I was calm, cleaned the footwear deck efficiently, and made sure I was the last to clock out. As I approached Daniel at the exit I said, "So yeah, this will be my last day here. I got my priorities straight, and school is my number one. I recently got an internship there, and I'll just go there because they are more accommodating to my needs as a student. Thanks for the time here, sucks that we couldn't work it out." And with that, I watched his face turn white. And he said something about not being able to work for the company again due to my lack of a 2 weeks notice. Didn't care, was never going to work there again, and now every time I come to the mall, and he happens to see me, he doesn't look me in the eyes, speak to me, and rushes away from the counter so he doesn't have to ring me up. You got what you wanted, Dan. You want 4x the normal pepperoni? You got it, Chief. There was a really fun post this weekend about a guy ordering extra pepperoni that made me think a few people here might get a chuckle out of my own pepperoni experience. Back in high school in the early 90s, I worked at a pizza place. I used to open Sundays, which was great because it was just me and the guy who rolled the day's dough. We'd chat, listen to music, and the restaurant was usually dead. One Sunday in the early afternoon, this guy comes in and says he wants a pizza with extra pepperoni. He says he's asked for it before, but it's never been right. Never enough pepperoni. So he tells me we will pay for 4 toppings worth of pepperoni, and he wants 4 toppings worth on his pizza. Being the good employee I am, I say, "You got it, Chief." Now, usually when people order multiple toppings, you get a bit less of each one, like if you order pepperoni, salami, and ham, you'd get less pepperoni on there than a pure pepperoni pizza. This isn't entirely a rip-off. If you put too much meat on the pizza, won't cook properly. Now, I'd been working there a couple years and I knew that 4x the normal pepperoni wouldn't work, but I also knew it could be fun. So I went ahead and complied with the guy's request. I literally put 4x the pepperoni of a pepperoni pizza on there. Weighed and everything. The freaking thing would not cook. Our pizzas usually take 10 minutes, this thing was in there like 20, and would still fold when you put the paddle in there. 5 minutes later, though, I see it. A bubble. First the size of a large pimple, then it grew to the size of a big cyst, then the size of a mountain. It was crazy. It had to be 6 inches high. I called the other guy out from the back so he could see it. I wish we had phones in those days so I could have taken a picture. Now, we get bubbles in our pizza from time to time, and we had a special hook on a long metal pole we would use to reach into the oven to pop them. I opened the oven door and gingerly reached in with the pole and poked the pizza. It erupted like Mt. St. Helens, and a fountain of grease spurted up and hit the roof of the oven. It was horrifying. It actually pulsed 3 or 4 times like the pepperoni monster had a beating heart. A cheese and pepperoni bubble spurting grease is not something you can unsee. I continually stabbed it until the bubble subsided. It was carnage. I still have nightmares about the grease fountain. Finally, we had to take this pizza out. The grease had completely and utterly consumed the dough, and the thing was as soggy as a wet towel, but the top layer of pepperoni was crispy and would start burning soon. I cut it into pieces and I swear to God it squished with each slice of the night. I put it in the box and handed it over with a smile. I wish I could have seen the guy take his first, disgusting bite. He didn't come back. Wish.com was sure they were right. For context, I'm a huge Marvel fan. I went on Wish.com and ordered a replica of Logan's Wolverine dog tags from the army for like $2.80. It was supposed to arrive in the same package as another item I ordered. The package arrived, and the second item was in there, but not the dog tags. I figured that they may have shipped separately, so I gave it time. After about 2 months, it still hadn't arrived. I left Wish a message about it, and they said it was marked as delivered so they wouldn't refund or replace it. I tried to contact them several times about it, and they kept saying the same thing. I know some people would just let the $3 go, but I'm not like that. My sense of justice is as strong as Batman's. If they're so sure it arrived, I can play by their rules. On Wish's system, you have to chat with a robot before you can chat with a real person. I asked the robot to reopen the complaint and it did. It asked me if the item arrived. It hadn't, but I pushed yes anyway. After all, the agent said he was positive it had arrived. It asked me what the problem was with it. I selected item as broken or missing crucial elements. I figured that it was missing the whole thing, which is pretty crucial. It asked for photo evidence, so, copying a post I saw online somewhere, I sent a photo of my empty hand. The robot said it would refund the order. Okay, so that's compliance, but not really malicious, as they were just giving me what they owed me. When I checked my bank account later, I saw the refund was for about $35. The item was less than $3. I checked Wish.com and discovered why the refund was so big. The other item that did arrive was another replica of a movie prop, and it cost about $30. To my best figuring, they had to refund it all since it shipped together, or was the same order or something. They ended up giving me almost $40 worth of stuff for free, when all I wanted was not even $3 because of their own stubbornness. But hey, I'll never complain about free movie prop replicas. I promptly deleted my Wish account just in case they tried to recharge the card. If you enjoyed this story, please don't forget to upvote real quick. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.